Famous Guitars, episode number 51. Anyone who knows me knows that I'm pretty much a rocker and I have dabbled in country music, but also one of my favorite styles of music is jazz, and I've been wanting to cover this guitar for quite some time. And I'm going to talk about a jazz musician who never really played with a pick, only thumb times. So based on that, I must be talking about this guitar right here. And of course, I'm talking about a true jazz masterpiece, that legendary Gibson L5 played by the incomparable Wes Montgomery. Wes Montgomery didn't come up through traditional channels. He was largely self-taught, famously learning to play by listening to Charlie Christian records late at night after working long factory shifts in Indianapolis. Early in his career, Wes played more affordable instruments, including a Gibson ES-175, which helped him developed his signature warm tone and thumb-picking technique. But as his reputation began to grow in the late 1950s, so did his need for a more refined instrument. That's when the Gibson L5 entered the picture. The L5 was already considered Gibson's premier archtop guitar, a top-tier jazz instrument originally introduced in the 1920s. Wes acquired his L5 in the early 1960s, around the time his career really started to take off internationally. Now, looking at the specs, this guitar was something pretty special. The Gibson L5 Wes played was a full-bodied archtop with a 17-inch lower bout, featuring a carved spruce top and carved maple back and sides. It had a set maple neck, ebony fingerboard with block inlays, and a 25.5-inch scale length. The guitar was equipped with dual humbucking pickups, typically Gibson PAF-style pickups, which contributed to that thick, round tone Wes became known for. And the most defining piece is a pearl inlay heart with Wes's name inscribed on it. The story goes that the inlay was put there to cover up a hole that was made by Wes's fingers rubbing against the wood. This was the first time Wes put his name on his L5. This guitar was later damaged in a fire and subsequently restored by Mike McGuire of Gibson Custom Shop. One unique thing about Wes Montgomery's sound wasn't just the guitar, it was how he played it. He used his thumb instead of a pick, producing a softer, more mellow attack. The L5 responded beautifully to this technique, delivering a warm, buttery tone that became his signature. This guitar can be heard on many of Wes Montgomery's most celebrated recordings. Albums like the incredible jazz guitar of Wes Montgomery, Smokin' at the Half Note, and Boss Guitar, they all showcase this unmistakable L5 sound. Whether he was playing blazing octave runs or smooth chord melodies, the L5 captured every nuance of his style. And as career progressed into the mid-late 1960s, Wes began recording more commercially oriented material, incorporating orchestral arrangements and pop influences. Even in those settings, the L5 remained a central part of his sound, helping bridge the gap between jazz purists and mainstream audiences. So where is this legendary guitar today? After Wes Montgomery's untimely passing in 1968, his instruments became highly sought after by collectors and historians. His Gibson L5 is believed to reside in private collections, occasionally surfacing in exhibits or high-profile auctions. Like many iconic instruments, its exact whereabouts can sometimes be a bit of a mystery, but its legacy is anything but hidden. The Gibson L5, in Wes's hands, wasn't just a guitar. It was a voice. It helped define modern jazz guitar and inspired generations of players who followed, from George Benson to Pat Martino and beyond. You can hear echoes of Wes every time someone picks up a hollow body and lets those warm tones ring out. And there you are. There's your Famous Guitars episode number 51, Wes Montgomery's legendary Gibson L5. So if you're on TikTok, like, share, and follow. If you're on YouTube, hit the subscribe button, thumbs up, and comment below. But once again, like, share, and follow for more Famous Guitars.